this video, we will be reviewing the first issue of Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe, the first part in a 5-issue series, confirmed by the writer himself on the Godzilla Reddit to be canon to the Earth 616 Marvel main continuity, as well as being the same Godzilla from the original 70s Marvel Godzilla run, or at the very least an alternate version of the Showa Godzilla. Our story starts with the Mole Man uncovering a staff made out of vibranium. Ordering his henchmen to dig for more vibranium, they accidentally awaken Godzilla, who the last time I believe popped up in the Marvel main universe was actually under the control of Mole Man, as shown in the New Avengers comics series. This simultaneously also causes the awakening of a Celestial, from that Eternals movie nobody watched. Based off his height relative to the tip of the torch of the Statue of Liberty, I'd say he's probably around 100 meters tall, which is significantly taller than what is probably his original 70s height, but then again, that height was never consistent in the first place. Quick little tangent right here. In the comic, I came across this advertisement for another future comic called The Thing versus the Marvel Universe. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I don't see this guy beating Hulk or Red Hulk or She-Hulk or anyone with Hulk in the name. But I guess if Punisher and Deadpool can do it, who knows what can happen. The writer is always right. Anyway, Godzilla engages in a fight with the Celestial. While the Celestial does manage to daze Godzilla with one punch, as shown with the stars above his head, Godzilla just grabs its head and rips it off. And if you knew how strong these Celestials are in the comics, you would be making the same face as Reed Richards right here. Mole Man decides to be an idiot and tries to attack Godzilla with the vibranium, but that just ticks him off. I've noticed Godzilla has really big eyes in this comic. Mr. Fantastic makes the observation that Godzilla really does not like vibranium. Wouldn't surprise me given that it's a material that came from space, and we all know how Godzilla feels about aliens. After calling for backup from both the Avengers and the X-Men, of which only the Avengers arrive on the scene first, and not even all of them, the heroes are rushing to save citizens inside a building that Godzilla is currently trying to demolish, but the Invisible Woman puts up a force field to keep Godzilla from destroying it. And wow, just look at this calm expression of Godzilla. He's just putting his hands on the building to push it. However, it doesn't take long for Godzilla to overpower the force field and shatter through the building. Then Thor shows up, and Godzilla just knocks him unconscious into space with one swing of his tail. Okay? Yeah, and I just did a review on Godzilla vs. Thor, and this Godzilla just shows up and knocks him out with one hit. Even though Thor's known to hold back when fighting against beings from Earth, the fact that Godzilla was still able to not only draw blood, but knock him into orbit and unconscious with one hit, I think is still a pretty noteworthy feat. Mr. Fantastic recalls a recap on Godzilla's known history, how he's also battled against other giant monsters that have popped up, which does line up with his established origin in the original 70s comic, though they don't directly reference the events of the 70s comic. Again, according to the official writer, the 70s comic is canon to this time. I just wish they'd actually officially acknowledge it in the comic itself instead of outside the comic. Godzilla at some point decided to grab the Thing for whatever reason and just walk around with him in his fist, but the Thing breaks free after biting down on his finger, which I guess was enough to hurt him. He gets thrown into the Daily Bugle and puts an idea in Jameson's head that Godzilla is actually Spider-Man after drinking the lizard serum, which he believes. I don't really know what's going up with Jameson's character currently in the comics, but didn't he resign as publisher of the Daily Bugle as well as become mayor at some point? Or was that undone by some wibbly-wobbly timey-wimey crap? The heroes try to call Doctor Strange for help, but he's busy fending off some Eldritch abomination or whatever, so Captain America steps up to bat. After talking to Godzilla like he's some disobedient pet, Godzilla fires his atomic breath at Captain America, but he reflects it back right at his neck with his shield, blasting a hole through Godzilla's throat, exposing his organs, and he flatlines. But on the very next page, he's shown healing and is back on his feet. Actually, I don't even think he fell down, he just flatlined while standing up, and probably only for a few seconds too. The Fantastic Four then plan to trap Godzilla in the Negative Zone, which is basically the Marvel's equivalent of the Phantom Zone, which I remember being a thing in the Civil War comic where they'd lock up prisoners that went against the Registration Act. However, before they can fire it, Godzilla suddenly ducks down and charges at the building, destroying it, and causing it to go off, basically reducing the Fantastic Four to the Fantastic One, as well as Captain America going bye-bye with them. Thor apparently rage quit and left the battle off screen, and Black Panther decides to dip out, formulating his own plan to take down Godzilla, as the Heroes for Hire, Daredevil, the Spider-Verse trio, Iron Man, and Deadpool show up for round 2, ending the issue. And based off the release synopsis and official cover for issue 2, it looks like things are going to go from bad to worse as Godzilla gets a hold of the Venom symbiote. Though based off this early released image of the next issue, I can't help but scratch my head at why the heck is Eddie Brock Venom at this point. Eddie Brock hasn't had the Venom symbiote for quite a while in the comics. Ever since the whole King in Black storyline, the Venom suit has been in the possession of his son Dylan Brock, and at this current point in time is now currently in the position of Mary Jane. Yeah, Mary Jane Watson, Spider-Man's on and off girlfriend, it's kind of weird, is the current Venom. Yeah, comic books, am I right? Well, to be fair, the writer did state that while this is canon to the 616 continuity, he wasn't quite sure when exactly it takes place, so it's possible this might take place some point right before the King in Black storyline, because it would have to take place before then, because that was the last time Eddie Brock was Venom. And we do know it has to, at the very least, take place close to modern-day Marvel, given the presence of Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy, who did become a part of the main 616 continuity at some point in previous years. There's also this cool alternate cover of Godzilla as the Thing. Thingzilla. I'll talk about that and more when I eventually power scale this particular version of Godzilla, which will be coming out sometime later this year. So look forward to that, and look forward to my review of issue 2. Take care, folks.